Losers bracket final, everybody. We are in the Murky Cup and we have our losers match. The winner moves on to the grand final to the best of 7 series, and the loser takes 3rd place in the tournament. We are on Sky Temple, our first map, and it should get interesting. The Bounty Hunters go up against Team Rip now, and it should be a lot of fun. So once again, there is in total 2,000 euros of prize money on the line, 1,000 euros that gets split between the top teams. Typical normal prize money. And then of course we have also our bounty pool. Teams can complete bounties, objectives that are predetermined, so we'll put them on the screen right here so that you guys can have a little bit of a look. So if any of these bounties gets completed by a team, they get a ticket, they get a bounty point. At the end of the tournaments, we're looking at how many bounties were completed in total, and then teams get a share of the second prize pool of 1,000 euros according to how many bounties they completed, how many bounties were completed in total. So a proportional thing, meaning this is all optional what you see here right now. And teams can go for it, but it's obviously a risk-reward calculation that you have to make. It's essentially a handicap that you give yourself. If you think, well, we don't want to risk it, we just want to go for the tournament victory, then you might be better off not going for any of this. But just so you guys know how all of this works, I mean, obviously, if you don't know by now, then it kind of means you haven't watched the tournament. Not sure what to tell you here. Team Rip misses a ban. It's been a while since I've seen that happen. So Lucio and Chromie get both banned, and then Team Rip is a bit late to the party and misses out on the second one. Heroes can, by the way, only be played once within a series. So as we are moving through the best of 5, more and more heroes will be unavailable as we are entering drafts. And now we're getting Maiev eliminated, and it's time for a quick first pick over here. So, Team Rip, what can they pull off now? They had a pretty impressive run through the lower bracket. Can they take the Bounty Hunters down? It remains to be seen. To be fair, the Bounty Hunters, they had a lot of matches where they actually struggled. And there was this massive winner bracket battle between Team Rip and the Bounty Hunters, where you can honestly argue that Team Rip should have been the team to advance to the next series, but they were in the end defeated, and I can already tell you they were not happy about that at all. By all rights, they should have won that series, for sure, and they just fell short. So now, do they stand in their own way again? Is this the tournament or the match where they are now defeating the Bounty Hunters? I guess we're gonna find out. This is the rematch. It's a chance for Team Rip to make it happen. The Bounty Hunters, they start things off with ETC for Breeze. We have Rega played by Rutsu, and then on the other side, Team Rip with double global already Brightwing and Dehaka. Ah, well, the good old times when Fnatic was still playing a triple global on Sky Temple. Those times are, of course, long gone. And there's also the cheese strategy that gets brought up over and over again whenever Sky Temple gets played. This was also in the good old times. It's not possible anymore because there were too many changes after HGC was taken down by Blizzard that just changed the way that experience gain works, especially when we're talking about structures. But there was the good old McDonald's strategy that Fnatic developed, because one day when they had scrims, they wanted to go to McDonald's, but the McDonald's was about to close, so they drafted a cheese strategy for Sky Temple, defeated the opponent in under 10 minutes, and then refined that strategy for one of the big tournaments, the mid-season brawl, and it helped them to take Dignitas down. So it was pretty impressive, and was all centered around a very heavy pressure play on the bot lane with a Chen main tank that was soaking up all the damage. Lots of heals and lots of damage, and a rush towards level 10, with which they then would take the boss and then go straight to the bot lane and win the game. So, long time ago. If you've been there, you've been there. If not, then you missed, unfortunately, out on some fantastic times. By now, in our series here today, we got the ban on the Lost Vikings, and we have Zeratul also banned out. But here comes Genji, and we get Tyrael. So, we have an interesting front line. Seems, I mean, they could obviously swap this around and play ETC as a side laner. Very likely he's going to big stage dive, I guess, because they have to mirror Dehaka somehow, so picking ETC early gave them a bit of flexibility in how they would use him. But now that we have Tyrael in the mix as well for them, this should get quite interesting here. Now, obviously, final 2 picks now for Team Rip in game number 1 of the best of 5 series, and we still need the damage output. We get Imperius for the triple front line and Greymane. Okay, Greymane is in the house, no bounty attempt here. Again, there's a lot on the line. If any bounties will be played, I would expect them towards the back end of the series. Here comes Jaina for the burst damage, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're set for our first map in the best of 5 in the losers bracket final. Team Rip up against the Bounty Hunter. Here's the rematch. Game number 1, and indeed there were some hero swaps after the draft is over, so now Breeze finds himself on Tyrael instead of ETC. They're going to be using Whoopi on ETC on the side lane and make the play there. And at the same time now we got Hazorps on Jaina, we got Dainu on Genji, and Rutsu on Rega for the team. Over on the right side of the map, we got Team Rip with Krankle on Johanna. Vasilisco is playing Brightwing. We got Bloodcool on Imperius, Sven on Dehaka, and then Azzy on Greymane. So, time to shine. Who's able to take the lead in the best of 5 series? Bloodcool riding into battle on the money pick, as he should. Same is obviously true for Whoopi. So both of the players just showing fantastic taste. And I gotta admit, this kind of looks funny. I don't think I have seen this particular skin yet on the money pick, but this is pretty glorious. So yeah, good job by Bloodcool. That's definitely gonna give me a bit of a chuckle. And it's kind of wild thinking Imperius of all heroes riding like this on a money pick. Oh god. Just from a lore perspective alone, Imperius and Tyrael are always so insanely arrogant and just like stuck up that seeing him ride on the money pick here is kind of funny to me. Probably way more than it is. But again, I look at this, I can't stop but chuckle. Okay, so yeah, it is what it is. Greymane is now at the bottom of the map. We have our triple melee for the red team, already getting a little bit of action over in the middle. All the way up at the top, it's still the Haka against ETC, and again, very likely that we're going to get stage dive on level 10 from ETC too. This is something that has been done in the old Pro League days a lot, that ETC would be picked early in the draft, and then you had the flexibility to either use him as a main tank, or if your opponent decided to play with globals, you could then deviate away, draft a proper main tank, play ETC as a side laner, and then have a pseudo-global to match the opponent's macro rotations. So that's kind of what we're getting here. Down to the bottom right, we have now the Siege Giants taken as well. So both of the teams already working around that. In the meantime, when we're all looking towards the setup that we're getting from the blue team, we have now on level 1 the Ardent Restoration. Breeze obviously still on his Mecha Tyrael over here, still riding with that cheap. And is going for a bit of a damage build, which normally leads into Judgment. So we'll see what they're going to do with that. In the meantime, all the way up at the top, we got Whoopi sitting tight. And then, obviously, down at the bottom of the map, it's all about trying to take the mercenary camps out that the teams have been claiming. Rega is trying to time the camp over here on the left. The same is true also from Greymane. So the two of them are essentially playing a game of chicken. Everybody is checking out, trying to figure out, hey, who takes the camp first? It would be kind of amusing if all of a sudden the Haka would just burrow in, you know, and trying to take the camp. It doesn't really work with Hazen or all still sitting tight. But it is the blue team who claims it first. Second later, the red team responds. Now, if your opponent takes it too early, then you can delay your own camp and you can wait, for example, for the camps to collide right here. And then you have some tower support on the defense. So you can deal with this so much safer. But with both of them waiting it out until the last second, now that we have the shrine spawning, it's an even game once again. So, as it stands right now, the attack is already coming. Up at the top, we have the blue team taking control. They even got a few shots in the middle. But the pressure is already there. And as usual on Sky Temple, one of the big questions will always be how much damage can you do to structures without the objective. And this is where, for example, Greymane could play a big role later on. Because once that he gets in Worgen form onto structures, he is insanely powerful. Now, down at the bottom of the map, we got Sven and Dainu. They were locked into a fight for just a few moments. The topside fort is taking damage, and so is the one in the middle. We have, with level 7, once again, the augmented guard taken. Could also impact, of course, the choices later on with Storm Talents, as we've seen a few times now already. And ETC, Echo Paddle is what I would expect, but he's holding it back for a long time. Hazu nearly going down here. And the red team is pushing, and Echo Paddle is not chosen. Instead, they're going for Hammer On. So the synergy with the level 1 talent. And everyone still trying to get some extra damage out. Especially now with Greymane moving back towards the middle with the rest of the team and trying to make his play there. So, yeah. Jaina also with the Ice Flurs on level 7. We're having the Wizened Duelist for Greymane. So is that. And all the way at the top, a little 1v1 here. Sven... yeah, the tongue not connecting as he's going up against Wooby. And of course, still the attack over on the left side is completely focused on the Siege Giants. The red team is taking their own, but Crankle was trying to slow this down a bit, and they are actually forcing the blue team back. So while they take their own camp and have now Siege Giants on the lane, they slowed down the opponent and forced them back initially. Yep, decent start for them. Not a single kill in the game. I mean, again, there's quite a bit on the line here. You want to go to that grand final, obviously. So just winning here is already a huge accomplishment. And taking the first map would, of course, be a big step into the right direction. So at this point, still some damage down at the bottom of the map. If they are also able to take later on the bottom temple that will spawn next, that would, of course, be pretty amazing for them. But they took one of the towers down. Greymane instantly in Worgen form, and this is going to be a tower. It's going to be an entire wall that they're destroying here. This was in the old days, this was the dream. What you would normally try and do is break that wall and then take that fountain out. Now that the fountain HP is linked directly to the fort, that's obviously not possible anymore. But this was always the play back in the days of old that you wanted to go for, so that you had a better position going into the shrine fight at the bottom of the map. As already theorized a bit earlier, we get indeed Judgment for Tyrael, and we have Stage Dive for ETC, so no surprises here. The shots are being fired as the blue team is taking the initial control, but Jaina is in the corner. Early Ancestral to keep her alive. Imperius going for Tyrael. Here comes ETC. Another lunge, another connect, but they're turning on Bloodcool, and Genji gets the kill against Imperius. Nice. Job well done, and doing all of this, we still have the shots fired against the red team here. So the first kill in the game against Imperius, Bloodcool taken down, and the red team trying to find some salvation through attacks in the middle and up at the top. Greymane is already moving in, so is the Haka. They're trying to at least take the walls out, but down at the bottom of the map, they have to try and defend. Rhaegar gets away. Jojo, the only one defending, but you can already see that has lots of damage now on that fort. It's the bot lane fort and the top lane fort that are suffering for Team Rip. The Bounty Hunters with nice aggression here. Trying to turn on Whoopi. The Haka's coming in too. Sven, no chance for him to make a big play. Up at the top, right wing just juking them out as best as possible, and eventually the Fruit Fly falls. As he was hoping to get a counter kill on Dino, and it's just not happening. Breeze is chasing him down even further. And this is now 2 kills, 2-0 in favor of the Bounty Hunters. So they're starting this off strong. Great start into game number 1 of the series, and they're instantly again on the camp and trying to make their play here. Trying to take those mercenaries out. On the right side, we got the next camp already targeted. So Greymane is back at it, as he should be. 15,000 damage roughly for him, 18,000 for Genji at this point in time. We got the boss up on the map. We still have the next objective soon spawning, which is going to spawn Shrine at the top and at the bot lane. Comes the attack and the kill. Nice. Finally a point on the board for Team Rip on the kill count. So they are able to take Rhaegar out. Have to defend the top, which they are doing right now. And at the bottom of the map, obviously, it all centers around the Siege Giants once again. The level 13 talents are also available for the 2 teams now. No shocks there either. 18 stacks now on the Ardent Restoration for Breeze. And, well, Jaina is also getting closer and closer to complete her baseline quest, which is, of course, going to be pretty big because she needs that ice block. That attack, not too bad. And here comes the play for Greymane, and that was actually nicely done. That was pretty well done. So we get a judgment on Greymane. ETC stage dives behind him and then slides over for an added stun. And they're not only getting Greymane, but they're also able to take Imperius out. And this is how all that started. But you can see the play right there. So Judgment gets lined up with that stage dive into the back line. And that was just nothing that could be done from Greymane. He was completely locked down and then died a moment later. So, yep, nicely played. Down at the bottom of the map, at least a few shots fired from the Haka. So they are trying to target that bottom fort, and it's not looking too bad. Right wing is coming in. The problem for Team Rip is that we also get some additional heroes for the blue team that are saying hello here. Basilisko, they try for Genji. Isolation connects, but they need more than that if they seriously want to threaten Dino. And ETC still maintains the shots at the top, so 1 fort, 2 forts, 3 forts. All 3 forts are now destroyed on the red team side. With all that control over the objective, we've seen some very solid value for the bounty hunters in that situation. They are at least able to get some damage done down here as well. So 1 fort at the bot lane gets destroyed. I suppose that they can also take out the one in the middle. But at the top there is still one standing. So it's not too horrible situation for Team Rip. Oh, they're falling a bit behind here. Boss gets triggered. Seems like they are actually willing to make a play for it. Whoopi jumps in, gets met by a bullet immediately. And they're trying for the kill, and the cow is down. They might get a second kill too. They're moving in against Genji, and with a nice connect on Imperius, they're able to lock him down further. And that is now Blood Cool and also Whoopi gone. Which of course triggers an immediate attack from Team Rip as they're making a play for the boss itself. So, nicely done. Very nicely done here. They are able to turn this pretty much on a dime. They have to catch up in experience a bit, which they are now able to accomplish too. Level 16 is already available for the bounty hunters, but there's an opportunity right now for them to get some extra pressure going at the bottom of the map, and of course catch up in experience too, which they now do. We have the Alpha Killer for Greymane, and now they are starting to march through the bottom of the map. And all the way up at the top, the Haka still running the global for the red team. So they're centering their aggression now at the bottom lane. I mean, again, what you want to do essentially is you want to at least take the wall out, right? If you can take the wall here, that's a couple of structures destroyed. You want to get as much as you can out of those objectives later. Again, the focus on Greymane, but this time Imperius is here and instantly goes for an impale against ETC. So they have the Siege Giants, they have the boss, they take the wall out with ease, and they're pressuring the blue team even further. Team Rip and the Bounty Hunters, they're locked into an epic battle. Once again, it's a great start into the series. We had this awesome match in the winner bracket that I highlighted earlier, but now the rematch, and all of them are super determined to make the best out of that situation. So, as is right now, we have the next camps targeted by the Bounty Hunters, but the temple, next temple, is now up, and shots are already fired. That puts them in an even spot on structures. Bit of a lead even with the bottom keep already taking damage, but the shots are now centered around the middle, and I'm going to attack here. And let's see if the Bounty Hunters are able to take control of the temple, or if they just give this one up right now. That's going to be the bigger question, but as is, it looks very, very good for Team Rip. Some damage done immediately. Ancestral is out. Rhaegar dies after he drops it. Big stage dive. Huge stage dive from Whoopi. They take Imperius. They kill Johanna. That's 2 heroes gone. They come in for Greymane. They want him as well. And he goes down. They were not able to obliterate Tyrael. Now Basilisko is getting attacked, and that's all of them destroyed. A beautiful play by the blue team in a fight that initially didn't go all that well for them. Whoopi with the heart engaged there, and now they get the shots fired, and they can continue the attack even further, potentially going through the top lane. Not enough time to steal the camp, but there's a little bit of a drag. They want that keep, of course. And they should be able to get it. Sven needs to be very careful as he starts to slowly retreat. And here we go. That's going to be the end of the top keep. Can they go for more? I kind of doubt it. Nice drag here for some extra damage against Breeze. But as is, Rhaegar is now slowly making his way back over to the team. They still want to steal the camp. But of course, they couldn't go for the core just yet. They have the lead in experience though. 9 kills to 4, they got the experience lead, and they have now the lead in structures. We have Jaina with 41,000 damage, and 31,000 for Greymane. So a bit of a disappointing situation from the perspective of Team Rip, because initially that fight didn't go too badly for them. They were able to get the kill on Rhaegar. They just couldn't follow up with anything further. And, well, all the way up at the top, that's where the Haka at least is still trying to hold the lane. Level 20 talents are available. So that gives us Winter Smoot. We got the Angel of Justice as well. Upgrade from ETC with Crowd Pleaser. And still half a level that is missing for Team Rip to get their own Storm talents. So they are currently on the defensive. The boss still down for another minute. If that one was up, then the Bounty Hunters would probably try and make a play here and go through that bot lane too. But as it stands right now, they are trying to use at least Siege Giants to get some pressure going here. And they are getting into a pretty decent spot. The Haka is still getting some minions in the middle for level 20, and there it is now. So Sven needs to be careful that he doesn't get caught. And tunnels away before Wooby can interrupt him. Plays this very, very safe, as he should. We got Impervious, we got Contagion, Tooth and Claw is in. And a bit of a trap, apparently. The Admiral Akbar play from Team Rip. It's a trap! But, yeah, nobody's falling for that right now. It's a party bush! It's a Chinese party bush right there. Reese has a low, but, yeah. They all knew what was happening. Nobody was surprised at this point. So, at this point, we have down at the bottom of the map still some Siege Giants that need to be dealt with. It's 20 seconds until the temples are up. And there is an advantage now for the Bounty Hunter. So when it comes to even... If it's just like an even distribution of who takes what, then the blue team is going to get ahead. This, on the other hand, is potentially a pretty nice move. They have Greyman at the bottom of the map. He really needs to help them if they want to take this one quickly. ETC is the only one that is at the top. They are semi-committed to go for the boss here. And Breeze is going to sniff that out. But I think they're going to lose this one regardless. It's not that big of a deal because the blue team is responding in kind with value in the middle. They're going to get another keep here. But I think what Team Rip is going to try and do is use that boss to end the game potentially. They have the Haka at the bottom of the map and he's already taking down the bottom keep. So they will try and make a play for the core. It's only Greyman that is currently moving in with this, and Greyman can do a ton of damage. So in the meantime, here comes Judgment. Rhaegar is gone already. The keep in the middle is destroyed, and now ETC is jumping in to help out here, but Greyman is going to go for the core. Imperious is gone. It is a 4 versus 3. The Team Rip is going to win this now. They just need to stop the Hearth. That's all that they have to do. Greyman is going for the core here. Breeze is there, but the boss is doing damage as he needs to do as much damage as he possibly can before he dies, and then it's all about the boss. They're stopping the Hearth here. Dino is being chased, is jumping out. The counter pressure on the right side, but Jaina is on the run. She's the main damage dealer. Wooby just doesn't have enough, and the boss is gonna end the game here. This is it. Team Rip takes the lead in the best of 5 series in the losers bracket final. GG and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Battlefield of Eternity, map number 2. Team Rip is in the lead. I gotta say, the ending of map number 1 was exceptionally smart what they did there. The boss was taken, the blue team realizing at some point, hey, they're at the boss, but we are most likely not going to be there in time. We also have no vision, so if we move in and they catch one of us, we're dead. So the thought process of the blue team was actually, let's get as much damage done here as we possibly can. So they started to move in on the keeps, and the red team, after grabbing the boss, decided that they would send everybody back to defend, with the exception of Greyman, who's their best damage dealer against structures, that they would send Greyman with the boss towards the core, Dehaka down to the temple to eliminate the bottom keep early, and then Dehaka can join the rest of the team. And it got a little bit dicey very quickly, because from the perspective of the bounty hunters, they were hoping that they can, if not only take those keeps out, also go for the core and win a potential race. But with so many heroes showing up to defend and then Rhaegar all of a sudden getting caught and killed, it became awkward very, very quickly. And them retreating at that point wasn't quite possible for them either, because the red team really shadowed their heroes and made sure that they couldn't get away. So that allowed Greyman to get a lot of damage out before he eventually got killed by Tyrael, and the boss then finished the job. So from the perspective of Team Rip, this was very smart. They played a fantastic, great decision making there at the end. from the bounty hunters. They were caught a little bit with their pants down and now paid the price. This is still going to be a very hard-fought series. I mean, game number 1 already indicating that from the get-go. But let's suffice it to say that when we had the 2 teams clash in the winner bracket, it was an absolutely epic showdown. And I would not put them past to have something similar happen here too. It was kind of funny too when we came, by the way, in the lobby, because Sven was immediately complaining about a food delivery service. So apparently what happened is he had food delivered, and I'm not quite sure how that works, but apparently the delivery guy must have placed the bag with the food in front of the door and then left, complete the delivery, I don't know. But apparently the door opens to the outside, so Sven was sitting there and it's just like, yeah, great. Now I'm on the inside and I can't open the door. If I open the door and I force it open, then I kick over the bag with food. So, an IQ 200 play right there from the delivery boy. And Sven apparently got a bit stuck. I'm not quite sure what exactly he ordered, if it was like a container with soup, but it was an interesting little side story. Now, I would of course go for the smart play, you know. I would be sitting there, I was like, ha, me smart, me very smart. I would call a neighbor, have my neighbor come, remove the bag, then open the door, and then get the food. You know, that's how you really do it. But, yeah, Sven apparently didn't come up with that by himself, so I was always happy to chip in a little bit. But, yeah, fun times. Now, we're going to Battlefield of Eternity. The 10 heroes that have been played before cannot be played again, so in this case, another... What is happening with them? This is the second draft now and the second time that they miss out on a ban. Is this some kind of good luck charm that they all of a sudden have, where they're like, we're missing one ban every single map and that's how we actually get an advantage? We have a Tracer comp for the Bounty Hunters and then Sven with Samuro on the right side. But yeah, interesting spot that we find ourselves in right now. With Hanzo for the immortal damage, Samuro for the side lane. They're getting rid of Varian here first. And still a bit curious what we get, for example, for Wubi on the side lane then later here with Battlefield of Eternity. As we're talking Team Rip. We don't have a main tank yet either for them. Chromie has been banned, but there are still plenty of heroes that could also increase the immortal damage even further. I mean, it's only the second map in the series. There's not a lot that is missing yet. We get Diablo and we get Tyrande. Tyrande's getting played a little bit more lately. That leaves us still with Rutsu and Wubi. So it seems that they're actually shifting things slightly. Maiev is open, and that is something that I was already thinking about for a bit, because whenever they shifted the support into the hands of Hazu, they normally go for a triple front line, and that could happen here again with the Bounty Hunters now going for Thrall. Fair enough. We get Thrall and we get Sonya. So there's our triple front line again for them. Yeah. And our final pick for the red team, for Team Rip on the second map. Just to put this into context, when they clashed in the winner bracket, Team Rip took a 2-0 lead initially. So they have the 1-0. Let's see if they can repeat it and get that 2-0 with a win on BOE. That would be pretty neat, of course. But the final weapon of choice, we get Maiev for them. I expected it in the hands for Rutsu. That's not what happened. Maiev is taken, and we are ready for the second map. We're ready for Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 2, on the left side, the blue team with Breeze on Muradin. We get Hazu on Thrall. Yeah, they shifted things around again after the draft with Dino now rocking Tracer. We got Rutsu on Malfurion, and Wubi is playing Sonya. Over on the right side of the map, Team Rip with a 1-0 lead in this best of 5 series. We got Basilisco on Tyrande, Krankle on Diablo, Azzy is playing Maiev. We got Bloodcool on Hanzo, and then Sven on one of his favorites again, of course, playing Samuro in the second game of this series. The losers bracket final off to a great start. By now we have, yeah, Tyrande. She's in a little bit of a crabby mood today, as you can see. But, yeah. And Bloodcool still on the piggy. I like that. It actually kind of works for Tyrande. It's a little bit weird, but seeing her ride the crab, it kind of works. I don't know why, but it certainly does. So, at this point, the root against the Lord of Terror. It is a little bit wild, right? You are the Lord of Terror, you are Diablo, and then there's a little bit of grass on the ground and that stops you. It's actually pathetic. There should be certain interactions that are just not possible. There should be... You would need to have something more to stop the Lord of Terror. But apparently that's not really a thing here, so I would say that is not necessarily lore accurate. They are going for Thrall, and yeah, that is certainly lore accurate. Hashtag not my war sheet. So he gets taken down, quickly eliminated. That's the first blood in the game. I think it just missed the 1 minute threshold here, but the old man is the first kill in game number 2. And by now we have at the top, of course, our side lane established with Sonya going up against Samuro. The Owl traveling by every now and then. And still everybody looking for targets down here. They go for Tracer, and there is that second kill. Tracer is gone. Got erased. Hanzo. Overwatch versus Overwatch. And now they are breaking down that wall pretty easily, by the way. Whoa. Yeah, they are applying tons of pressure. The bounty hunters in a bit of trouble. I think this is partly because the bounty hunters accumulated a lot of bad karma throughout the entire tournament. They called themselves bounty hunters, kept the hopes of everybody involved high, that they would create a lot of fun team compositions and hunt bounties. And then it turned out that they did none of that, and it was just a bait all along. So it was a scam from the get-go. And that is just too much bad karma. So this is why sometimes certain plays that they're making are just failing. It's not bad luck, it's just the karma train hitting them hard. And that is something that Sonya now experienced herself at the top lane. So Sonya is gone, and that's 3 kills to 0 now. Maiev is already working on the next camp. We have over on the left side. Also some focus onto the Shaman camp. The Owl says hello real quickly. But good start for Team Rip. 3 kills to 0, leading experience. The wall taken out at the bottom of the map. So now we'll see how much damage they can do on the first Immortal once that he spawns. Dino! Yeah, very, very careful here, but I think that might still be a problem for Diablo because he was all alone as this played out. So Krankle is about to go down. They were hoping they'd counter kill. Couldn't quite. They still pushed them back here at least. But Diablo, he's gone. And so is Sonya. No! This is just bad news for the blue team. The Bounty Hunter's definitely with some bad karma right now. I mean, come on. They get the kill on Diablo, and it looks like finally they make a bit of a headway here, and then all of a sudden we're having Sonya dying too. It's still a race for the objective, but the blue team is already falling behind on the halftime show and has now lost out on it. Hanzo, of course, making that possible for the red team. And they should be able to burn this one down very, very quickly. So, yeah, shots being fired. And if the blue team doesn't completely pull on... they won't be able to get this one. It would be crazy. Yeah, if the red team doesn't completely end on the objective, they're going to get the first one. Maybe not by the biggest of margins, but they should still be able to get this fairly reliably. Already we're having some attacks happening. Stun into Root though with Maiev, who gets away. Now Diablo is getting attacked, but they're also burning the Immortal down. They're trying to go for Malfurion, and Diablo is dead again. Malfurion escaped, but Diablo is gone. Becomes the punching bag a bit in this game, as we now have the center of attention shift towards the top lane. Wall is gone, basically. So the Immortal is going to move in here, and we'll see how much damage can be done at the fort. They're actually not sitting at the top lane with all the heroes yet. Diablo's still on his way. And then down at the bottom of the map, Samuro is still saying hello here. But it will still, regardless of anything else, be some damage in all of this. So at this point, they're going to get maybe half of the HP. Stormbolt from Mirror Dennis Breeze jumps in deep again. 4 kills, 2-2. Whoopi gets caught, and that's also the quest completed on the baseline for Diablo. So if he gets targeted again and dies, we'll at least be able to get him back quickly. At level 7, we now also have the Burning Blade, and we get the Hunter's Fury, which can absolutely understand. If I'm Tyrande, I'm also furious. I mean, with that hair color, rumor has it that she wanted to have like a nice chestnut brown. And then when she left the salon, that's what came out there. So yeah, I would be furious as well. turning into a full-on green-haired Karen. That's definitely not what she had on the list for the day. That's also one of the reasons why she currently wears the helmet here. I will try to hide that as best as I can too. So down at the bot lane, still a bit of pressure against Wooby from Samuro, and Maiev is consistently saying hello to see if maybe they can make a play for the side laner. All the way up at the top, Crankle. That poor horse, by the way. There should be some kind of doom horse that Diablo gets himself. But it still feels a little bit awkward. If you're a little horsey and then somebody tells you, you have a new owner, and you're, yay! I hope he's nice. It's like, yeah, by the way, it's the Lord of Terror. It's like, great. If mounts could talk, guys, there would be stories in the Nexus, some stories that you just do not want to hear. Yeah, that rumor mill would be spinning pretty quickly. So, both of the teams aiming for level 10 now. We have down at the bottom of the map still Sven rotating in with his doggy. But this is when it now gets interesting. There should be a lead initially for Team Rip because of the earlier level 10 that they're going to grab. And they already have Hanzo in position to start and take down the Immortal. And boy, they are burning those 50% HP mega quickly. And they get level 10 as we speak. But the blue team grabs it at the same time. No surprises in heroics thus far. We get the arrow into Apocalypse as a potential combo on the red team side. And we get Earthquake. They're not going for Sundering this time. Earthquake play made from Thrall. So Tyrande is still missing out on her own talent on level 10. Goes for Starfall. But yep, Earthquake is being played and everybody is fighting again for the objective and trying to set something up around all of this. So, quest completed for Samuro as he's diving in a little bit deeper. Let's see if they can win that objective. There's a lot of poke happening right now from Hanzo as he's trying. Tracer comes in. Okay. And Samuro is still defending at the bot lane. There was a Shaman camp and if they don't want to lose their bot lane fort, then they have to put some effort in there, and that's exactly what he does. Sonya has done the same at the top of the map. A little bit more poke happening here from Hanzo as he's trying to get that Immortal down. Dino's jumping in too and just buzzes around the red team's objective, trying to burn this away. Nobody has fully flipped the switch yet and engaged committedly. Thrall also, of course, looking for opportunities here. Here comes Sonya. Now they make the move. And the APOC gets used. Zoning more than anything else. The arrow against Malfurion, but Tyrande is gone. She disappeared faster than the evidence against Jeffrey Epstein. And now Diablo and Maiev are also eliminated. It's a triple, baby. And they have opened the floodgates. Samuro is doing damage over on the left side and is trying to limit the damage against the team as much as possible. But on the right side, the Bounty Hunters, they are grabbing the objective and they take Immortal number 2 in the game and have now an opportunity to go through that top fort. 6 kills to 4. We got level 13 popping up next, but still too far away to get an advantage for the push here. When it comes to the raw damage output, then Maiev is sitting at 26,000. We got 18,000 for Thrall. Now it's all a question about how well they can defend. Oh, a nice disc against Malfurion. Can they get a kill here? The wall stun, and he's gone. Malfurion is gone. I forgot the lore, by the way, but I still think that Malfurion and Tyrande, they are siblings. Somebody said that they were actually husband and wife, which is a little bit disgusting. I don't think you should marry your sister. But then again, when I look at Malfurion, I would certainly not put it past him. They certainly have the same hairstyle. And there is a certain similarity when you just look at the portraits between the two of them. So I gotta say, I personally think that's wrong. But hey, it's World of Warcraft, it's Blizzard, it's the Alliance, it's just what it is. Hazu gets attacked and killed. Very nice flank that we got from Team Rip now. So they're doing a great job here. First, it was the defense. And yeah, now we have the attack against Thrall and the quick kill. That was a really nice sequence from Team Rip. So initially they lose the objective, but then afterwards, every single play that they're making here was solid. It's 6 kills to 6 now, and level 13 talents on both sides. But that was nicely done. This could have been way worse for them. They could have lost. They should have lost the top fort. And then maybe even more. But instead, they kind of turned the game around a bit. So, by now, we have all the way up at the top. Whoopi against... Whoopi and Breeze against the rest of the red team. But they were too late to fight for the camp. So, yeah. And with that, another play for Sonya. But they're not able to connect the stun quickly enough to get a big play out of this. Breeze not pulling Avatar. Had the patience here. At the bottom of the map, both teams have now lost a fort. So, yeah, forts got destroyed on each side. It is a really cool series. The first game was glorious, especially then towards the end. And now, when we're looking at game number 2, you can clearly tell that it is a game that it gets played on eye level between the two of them. So, Team Rip, now with a quick move for the objective. Again, we're seeing the same thing happening on the side of the Bounty Hunters, but they don't quite have the same tools. So, the halftime show victory goes once more to the red team. So, they grab that quickly. Yeah, and now just a question of who is getting objective number 3. And also, there are still mercenary camps on the map. Let's not forget about those. Especially the blue team needs to send somebody back soon, or this is going to do some damage. So they are a bit on the clock here. And the damage against the Immortal is also quite significant, so that's a solid situation for Team Rip. Yeah, Samura is now even moving towards the top and is starting to help out here. That's a problem. That really is a problem that has to be dealt with. We're seeing the Bounty Hunters make a play for the Immortal, but at the bottom of the map, of course, the same is happening with Hanzo, who gets targeted. Stormbolt, and that is maybe a kill. Short distance arrow, eats another Stormbolt, and goes down. But Sumuro is on the objective, and he claims it. Objective taken. Diablo is dead, so is Tyrande. 3 heroes gone. They at least were able to claim the objective, but they lose a lot of heroes in the process. Then again, at least at the top, we now have the wall already destroyed. But the blue team can now meet the Immortal very early out on the lane and can take it down probably before it does any significant damage. So it's a bit of a weird situation right now. Team Rip gets the objective. They also get some top lane value. But they lose so many heroes that they cannot fully, not fully capitalize on the gains that they just got. They also don't have a level 16 talent, which makes it even worse. So a bit of a weird one. But again, at the end of the day, they are a bit behind in experience, but everything else, especially structurally, they have now taken a lead. They have destroyed the top fort, for example. So both of the forts are now out. They have opened up the walls on those keeps. Here comes level 16. And one of the annoying things for the Bounty Hunters is at this point definitely Samuro. He is a massive pain in the ass. Now we got 35,000 damage for Hanzo. Thrall is the top damage dealer on the side of the Bounty Hunters with 27k. But Samuro is basically doing exactly what you would expect him to do. He is a thorn in their side and is forcing rotations and reactions the entire time. And makes this entire game very, very awkward. He's one of the few that hasn't died yet in this game. It's him and Muradin, the only ones that have not been eliminated even once yet. But of course it's also gonna come down to the next battle again. And after that fight we are likely starting to talk about level 20 talents on top of everything else as well. One problem for Team Rip is that they don't have a lot of souls for Diablo, so if he goes down, then he is down for the entire duration. He didn't have an opportunity to stack that back up. And that is a bit problematic. It's not really the most hit point heavy frontline tank at this moment in time, at least not compared to his usual self. And I just said it, and there it is. The kill against Diablo. And with him gone, they're hoping for a follow-up. Arrow, yeah, Earthquake also got used. They get pulled back here, they get pushed back. But Diablo is still gone. Down for another 30 seconds as the objective comes up. So this is what really sucks now for Team Rip. For the Bounty Hunters, it was a fantastic kill. That was great. They identified a weak link, exploited it, and now it's time for them to get a big objective and really get some headway. If they can get a big shield and then push through the top lane, they should be able to do a whole lot of work here. So the red team still hoping to maybe get a kill. They're looking for opportunities. They get a disc against Tracer. That's not gonna be enough. Hanzo is jumping out, is trying to. Breeze with the Storm Bolt. Follow up, coming in. They're getting a wall stun. Malfurion also with a nice play on the survivability, but Breeze is able to escape. Shout out to Grankle though. Those were some serious stuns against Muradin, and it absolutely threatened the hero. So now they're going again for the objective, but they're getting pushed back just a little bit. Obviously, Team Rip wants to try and get a kill now. There's also catapults at the bot lane. This one has been opened up earlier by the Immortal, so Hanzo is defending it. That allows for some damage against the Immortal at least. That doesn't mean that the red team is going to be able to win this one, but at least they are stopping the bleeding a little bit, or slowing it down. Arrow, nice! Hitting Tracer, but the follow-up wasn't there. They didn't go for the immediate APOC, and Maiev is dead. She got the disc out against Muradin, but she gets killed by Thrall, and that is just hurting them again. So once more, the play for the Immortal down at the bottom. Nope, they're not getting another volley from Hanzo through. So that's 11 kills to 6, and they're Bounty Hunters with some serious plays now, and another kill. They take Samuro out. So Samuro is eliminated. It leaves only 3 defenders. And the push through the top lane, which is definitely going to cost them the fort, and it might cost them a keep. Samuro being killed here is bad news as well, of course. So, very awkward position for the team to be in now. And, yep, we'll see how well this can be defended, because this is still a solid shield. This is a 65-70% shield right now. Hanzo is trying to fight back as best as he can, but we're going to get level 20 in a couple of seconds too, so that's the next problem that they are facing off against. You have to somehow deal with that level 20 talent on the other side. And I'm not so sure if they can actually pull that off properly. So the attacks keep coming. APOC is out. In the back, Krankle. Yeah, he dies again. Krankle is gone. So is the keep. They might lose the game here. It looked amazing initially. It really looked great for Team Rip, especially at the beginning of the game, but now they are falling apart, and this might just be game. Looks like we're going to get another kill. They go for Samuro, and Sven is dead, and this is the nail in the coffin. The final one. Tyrande falls. This is the end of Tracer, but the core is gone. The Bounty Hunters, they tie the best of 5 series in the losers bracket. GG. Game number 3. Series is tied. It looked good initially for Team Rip. At the beginning, they had some very, very nice plays. They were dominating the first few objectives since things were looking good. But, whew, it got spicy. And the Bounty Hunters, they took it. Also got pretty spicy in chat. Apparently, the topic of Malfurion marrying his sister has caused a couple of World of Warcraft lore nerds to immediately put their foot down and then say, like, Khaldor, they're not married, they're siblings. Or was it siblings and they're not married? Like, I don't remember. I agree, it's wrong that Malfurion married his sister. Totally on board with you guys there. I think that's not okay. That should not be allowed. And I feel Blizzard took a pretty big risk putting that into their lore. But now you can't unsee it. You look at the Porter of Malfurion, you look at the Porter of Tyrande, and I don't know, there are certain similarities that, again, you just can't deny anymore. It just is what it is. Just because I tell you the truth that Blizzard doesn't want you to know does not make it wrong. Well, it makes it, it's wrong, but it's just what happens. You know? It is what it is. So, game number 3, we have 20 heroes that have already been played and cannot be played again. I'm a bit sad that the Vikings are getting banned right now. They're, by the way, siblings as well. Just saying. You might have known that already, but yeah, they're siblings too. Actually, are they? Now that I think about it, I actually don't know. I don't think the Vikings are siblings. I think they're just good friends. Good, straight friends that hang out a lot together. Probably live together. And yeah. There's nothing weird here. Not even a little bit. They might help each other manicure their beards a little bit, but there's nothing strange about this too. So we get the Slug Band out. Apparently both teams hate fun. One team hates the Vikings, the other team hates Abatha. I hate both of them now because I would have loved to see both of those heroes. We get Junkrat as a quick first pick. And yeah, over on the right side, we want to have a little bit of spicy now on Cursed Hollow. A lot of the globals have already been eliminated. I think the Birdie is still up, right? Falstad is still available. So you could still go for him. And yep, there's Blaze. And we get Hogger. Triple frontline apparently for them. Already locking in 2 side laners. So that's going to be a pretty beefy one. I mean, damn. That is quite a lot that they're locking in right from the start. So who's the damage dealer going to be for them? Who do we have? I mean, technically I suppose you could still go for someone like Vala with the triple frontline. You could go Cassia, I guess. I don't think we're necessarily... Well, I suppose you could also play a mage still. I mean, we have some really strong mages too that you could still play here. Gul'dan with a nice Horrify, for example. But yeah, some sustained damage is probably going to be better for them. Well, in the meantime, we now have Garrosh and we have Uther. So you can get a quick flip into an Uther stun and then also Junkrat's Trap Mines. But after we've had that strong opening here from Team Rip, I am really curious what the rest of the lineup is going to look like for them. So, Malzael gets banned. They don't want to go up against him. I mean, they basically already said we're going to play at least a triple front line, so they don't want to go up against somebody that is punishing melee compositions as much. So, yeah, Malzael is going to get the axe here. And the Bounty Hunters, is there anything specifically that they are worried about now? I'm still salty that they banned out the Vikings. Obviously, Sven is also someone that can play Vikings, but yeah. I guess they want to save them for potential Towers of Doom play later when they want to take them themselves. And yeah, with that, enlighten us. What's the damage gonna be? What do we get as our main tank, of course, now? I suppose it could still go... Nah, I don't really want a Nubarak. A Nubarak does not have the best win rate currently. But you could go for a full dive, I guess. So, Ana and Orphea. We get the nano boosted Orphea again. And that leaves us only with the main tank for Krankle towards the end of the draft. The two teams have essentially reduced this to a best of 3 now. I mean, each team has a point on the board. So the next team to take 2 maps wins it and moves on to the grand final. Yeah, Dino and Wooby. Yeah, Wooby side lane. We could even get Urel again. Ooh, Rexa and Zeratul. Okay. Rexa and Zeratul, and that leaves us with our final choice. So, Krankle, after a very solid performance with Diablo, at least with a lot of the stuns that we had, he got obviously targeted a lot on Battlefield of Eternity, but he also had lots of really good plays where he created kill opportunities for the team. He now needs to find something else that allows them to dominate on Cursed Hollow as well. So game number 3, which team is going to pull ahead here? The final pick for the red team is... Arthas. We get Arthas, and with that, we're ready and good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Cursed Hollow, map number 3. Game number 3, let's go. Over on the left side, we got the Bounty Hunters. And we have Dino on Zeratul, Hazobs on Junkrat. We get Breeze on Garrosh, Rutsu on Uther, and Wooby is playing Rexa. Over on the right side of the map, it is Team Rip with a loss on Battlefield of Eternity, now tied with the opponent. We got Vasilisco on Ana, Krankle on Arthas, Sven on Hogger, Azzy is playing Orphea, and we get Bloodcool on Blaze. So, let's go! I mean, at this point, we have with Arthas, Blaze, and Hogger a really beefy frontline. And I like that we're seeing Arthas a little bit more lately. This is obviously still all in the context of heroes being eliminated once they get played, so the hero pool shrinks. But it's still quite nice that we're seeing more and more Arthas just appearing in general. So that's pretty cool. I personally really like Arthas. He obviously does not have the same ability as a lot of the other heroes that you have in the pool right now, but just his ability to deal with targets that are heavily based on auto attacks, especially melee heroes, is something that was always mega fun. I liked the times when we had, you know, a lot of Illidan, a lot of Greymane, and Arthas was a natural counter against them, where you always would try and get Arthas because you knew your opponent would try and play with Illidan, and you just controlled his auto attacks as best as he could. So that was actually kind of wild. I think boss fights could be super interesting too. Hogger obviously is going to have an easy time taking the camps here, but what I'm really waiting for is to see what happens once we have the bosses up on the map. There's a lot of potential to take them quickly from the teams, and also when it comes to an actual fight between the teams on a boss point, I think with all of the melee characters that are now coming in, this could get pretty interesting. So, yeah. But up at the top, we now have Dino going up against Crankle. Going into Might of the Narazim build, of course, with Shadowhunter as his level 1 choice. We have Orphea in the game with the Ancestral Strength. And, yep, Azzy, Bloodcool, and Basilisco. Ana, as usual, with the pew pew pew. And here comes Misha. And they're starting to isolate Orphea. She's able to jump out, so yeah, good for her. Ana, Granny, still firing away here, one shot at a time and doing some work. So, yep, nice. I suppose that later on when we have the nano boost for Orphea in the big team fights, there is a chance that we're going to get some real big DPS from the only ranged hero on the side of Team Rip. Now Orphea already dancing back towards the top. When it comes to the build, we now have the debilitating guard here as well for Ana. We're getting Death Lord for Arthas, and a bit of an attempt at a body block kill against Bloodpool in the middle. Down at the bottom of the map, Hogger. Spin to win, baby. So he's still spinning around here. And Misha and Rexa. One of the suggestions that I really liked for bounties that I honestly want to see in the next tournament is a full-on Misha build. Have Rexa just focus with all of his talents onto a Misha build, and then also the level 10 ability obviously change. Maybe I imagine it to be more fun than it actually will be, but I think we need some bounties where Misha, you know, finally gets the priority that she deserves. And the focus has to be taken away from Rexa a little bit. I feel like there should be some kind of ult for Rexa where on level 10 he can actually transform into a bear, and then you have 2 bears that are attacking. Something like that. So all of a sudden Misha, you know, gets a companion. That would be pretty cool too. Or the 2 of them morph into like a massive grizzly, like, I don't know, that stands on his hind paws. That would be pretty fun as well. Level 7 talents on both sides. Blizzard, if you're listening, by the way, you can take all of these great ideas for absolutely free, no charge. A thank you would be nice, a bit of a shout out, but yeah, this is all okay. You can all take those. I'm happy to help. And again, I have many more good ideas in case you haven't heard them in the past. One of my best, definitely a bit of a change to Abathar, where he gets a new ult. We call it Bitch Slap. Whenever you hit a target with Abathar from behind, the target instantly dies. Imagine the possibilities, Blizzard. Imagine the possibilities. All of a sudden, Medivh Abathar becomes a deadly combo. Getting Stitches and then Helping Hand hook on Abathar also becomes incredibly deadly. You have melee Abathar builds where he tunnels onto the battlefield and tries to bitch slap somebody from behind and get real big slap damage in. Totally new playstyles, new strategies. The meta will change completely. So Blizzard, if you're listening, again, you don't have to pay any royalties here. You can take all of these gems and just implement them. So, yeah, totally amazing ideas, and they should end up in the game. We deserve that much. We deserve that, at least that. Now, 1 kill to 0. Hogger was eliminated a bit earlier when they were fighting over the tribute at the top, and eventually the tribute was, of course, channeled by the red team. By now, we're having the second one spawning, and this is where the team around Arthur is, of course, hoping to get the 2-0 tribute lead. So they are gonna... Yeah, it's gonna get interrupted here. Okay, we have the mine already in position. But this is going to get stalled out for quite some time. Teams are hoping to get level 10 abilities as well. But Rexa is still at the bottom of the map, so it's going to be taken eventually. So as he is able to lock that in, level 10 is ready, but at this point we have, as you already guessed, 2 tributes to 0, so there's going to be pressure around the next one. Rexa goes in to unleash the boars. which I think is disrespectful to Misha. I mean, if you rely on me, like, it feels like cheating, right? All of a sudden, he just cares about the boss. Oh, Syndragosa. This is the fight that I was looking for the entire time with all the melee coming in. Azzy on the wrong side of the battle, though, and Ana goes down first. They try the kill on Uther, and they're able to take him down. Both teams now lacking a support. Blaze is coming in from the side, and they're getting everybody into that choke point. Azzy's about to fall, goes down. They need a counter kill, and they need it quickly, but I'm not sure if they can pick it off that easily. It seems more and more likely that the blue team is going to walk away with a W in that fight, as Dino is now re-engaging. The jet propulsion is missing. He needs to connect that. They get the kill on Rexa, but the rest of the team is already on the run. And Zeratul wants Sven. They're starting to come in, but he gets killed. Sven is alive, or at least he was. Ana, she came back early. Bloodcool, though, him missing the jet propulsion earlier was a huge problem. But now at the back end of the fight, they are able to take Breeze out. Whoa! 4 kills to 5. And now the play for the boss right away. Wow, what a bloodbath. But so many things in that fight were just going wrong. You could already tell at the start when some of those jet propulsions didn't come through, when Ophia ended up on the wrong side of the battle because of a great move by Junkrat. Now the boss at the top gets taken, and at the bottom of the map we're having the same play being made by the bounty hunters. But we are off to the races. Big moves here. Blaze and Junkrat, the only ones that haven't died yet. Everybody else has at least fallen once. 16,000 damage from Hogger, 21,000 from Junkrat. But that was absolutely bananas. This is exactly what I was hoping for when I saw that triple front line that gets played by Team Rip here. Exactly that. Ata, Carnage in the big team fight. It's going to be difficult to defend properly at the bottom of the map, by the way. If you don't have a lot of range damage, then yeah, it's going to be hard to poke that out. That tribute, this could be a curse. Very curious if they are able to pick this one up. Because the blue team is now trying to defend at the top, so they might just let this one slide. And accept the curse. Yeah, that's definitely a potential thing. So, we'll see. Channel is already happening. So, as is, there's the curse. And now the question, of course, how much damage they can do. That's going to be the big one. They have Hogger in position at the bottom of the map already, so not really a problem for them here. And yeah, at this point, we'll just see if they can take down more than only one fort. They have the attack now going strong in the middle of the map, so they're trying to do their thing here. But the defense is there. The blue team instantly making the play. Dino a little bit low, but he dodges out before the damage comes in. Misha trying to stop them. Orga is rotating towards the middle as well. There's still a minion wave at the bot lane that will do the structural damage. They have another 30 seconds on the curse as the attack is now continuing. And Zeratul is a little bit low here. So Dino needs to be super careful. Sven is trying to get ready for this. Starts to pog in, but that fort will fall. They're hoping to get the attack going in the middle of the map too. But the taunt is ready. Frankel, yes, is able to get the hit out. And a nice Eternal Feast from Ophia. Blocking the path initially, but not enough to seriously pressure Breeze and possibly take him down. Instead, they are trying to go for Wooby now. But he gets the Divine Shield and is able to walk out. Another flip, and Arthas is about to go down. Frankel can't escape and gets murdered. 6 kills, 2-4. Still a slight lead in experience for Team Rip, as they are looking at, well, a dead Arthas, some problems. But generally speaking, I have to admit that the defense from the Bounty Hunters was pretty alright. There's overall now 2 forts missing on the side of the blue team, whereas Team Rip is going to lose a fort at the bottom of the map as well. So, yeah. With that now, we got Assy attacked at the bot lane. Breeze flips that around. They're trying to go for the taunt. Ophia again with a play, and with a Hoarder pulled, Sven is able to escape. I have to say that the Feast is always a bit of a weird ult. Most of the time it doesn't get a lot of damage, but it forces the opponent away. It could, of course, be used in a boss battle quite easily. Riptire, Azzy alive, and is able to just chunk down on Misha. Still trying to go for Breeze now as well. Gets the heals the entire time, and Breeze gets murdered. Breeze is gone. 16 is on the board now for Team Rip, and they are starting to flank in with afters. But the Howling Blast gets dodged out, but here comes Syndragosa. They're still hoping to do serious damage. Nice attack against Crankle, but I don't think he's going to be too impressed here. They're breaking through that wall one way or another. So they are able to open that bottom lane wall up, as level 16 advantages are still giving the red team the better position, especially, of course, since Garrosh is still gone. 16 on both sides. Tribute spawning at the top, and here comes the next move. It's going to be curious to see which team is taking the lead in this series. This is what it essentially comes, I mean, not quite comes down to, but it's a big question of who pulls ahead, right? Who is able to take that one extra map, that advantage over the opponent, and moves on to the first match point of the series. Whoever loses this match is third place in the tournament. The winner moves on to meet up against Team Copium, against the Frenchies in the grand final. Now, he's already sitting at the top here, going for the channel, they're getting the second tribute. Misha gone, but can they get more? Unlikely. Nice attack against Azzy, but Afia is still totally fine here. Grenades just bouncing around everywhere. So 31,000 damage from Afia, 42,000 from Junkrat. That is doing pretty okay here. Syndragosa's going to be back in a second. Oh, that could be a problem though. Yeah, Pogga just gets bounced around, has a Horda pulled, uses it immediately, bounces back out. Divine Shield, Basilisco is about to go down. Nicely done by Uther, making sure that they got the damage output here to get a kill and safeguarding Zeratul. Syndragosa is in. Bloodcool tries to get away. Zeratul shows no mercy. Dainu is there immediately and drops him. So that's 2 kills against the team, and they are at least getting a counter kill on Rexa, but they might lose Sven, maybe even Orphea, as she gets now attacked too. Sven is bouncing out. Orphea in trouble, gets eliminated, and that's true for Hogger too. 4 heroes got destroyed, and the bounty hunters with 10 kills to 7. The interrupt as Breeze goes for the channel, and that is, oh no, they're gonna get Crankle as well. It's a curse, and Arthas dies. Essentially a 5-man team wipe that we're getting here. And yep, that is rough. They're gonna go for keeps here. They are gonna go for keeps at this point. Take the minion waves down easily. Junkrat with another wave destroyed in the middle, so they could just easily move around this. And yeah, this is gonna be the thing. So 11 kills to 7. We now got at the top 1-4 that will get destroyed here. Junkrat is already starting to move back, and with 1 keep destroyed, they can work on the outer perimeter. Take that out slowly, but this is hurting Team Rip a lot. The experience lead is actually not that crazy for the bounty hunters right now, but now that they're going for the boss, for example, this bad boy is going to travel straight for the core at the bottom of the map. Would be pretty nice for the red team to get their own level 20, I suppose, with the next push, and there's a lot of minion waves coming their way, so they're doing their thing here. But as it stands right now, Hazo's working on the mid lane camp, so he's trying to get that. We have the siege, the golem, the boss at the bot lane that will have to be dealt with. The early level 20 for the red team is going to happen, so we have it right now, and that helps them with the defense. Syndragosa got upgraded into absolute 0. They see Dainu in time, but it's going to be a double boss play. The rest of the team is already active at the top, trying to take this one. So yeah, not too bad. For now, they get the siege giants and try to play around with them, and they will have to defend for quite a long time now. Nobody has a tribute at this point. No tributes on either side. Yep, they're eliminating that boss fairly quickly. But, of course, it's not really a secret what the opponent is doing. The second one is now also taken. Unleash the Boars has been upgraded. We get Redemption for Uther. Deal with the camp in the middle. 50,000 damage for Junkrat, who still hasn't fallen. He's the only one in the entire game that has not died yet. Yeah, Zeratul, by the way, is the same damage output that we get from Ophir. So, lots of damage coming from the Bounty Hunters. Once again, the defense here, they need to be careful. They flip into the boss stun. Nice job by Breeze. And now they go for Hogger. Take him down. Nice damage from Ophir. Once again, this time even combined with the absolute zero ult from Arthas. But it was still not enough to take a target down. And now Arthas gets attacked again. Bunkers on the ground. And they are able to take Breeze out. Not only him, they are also dropping Uther. He still has Redemption. They're chasing for Whoopi. Should be able to potentially get him, but Uther will respawn. And I suppose that then puts an end to it. The boss is about to take the keep out, but they really, really, really want Rexa from the looks of it. And they're getting him. Whoopi is down. The keep still in play, but Zeratul is about to drop it. So they're flanking in once again. There's 3 heroes still there. Jet Propulsion. Yeah, played nicely around that. Dino wants the kill. He's gonna fall. He's trying to get a counter kill. Gets a Divine Shield. Nice! Ana gets attacked, but Dino is about to go down. Can he get the kill? And yes, he can. This should be the end of him, though. He tries to get away and gets another heal. Dino with the insane plays here, but they are able to take him down. The Riptire is not able to net them another kill. Zeratul is gone. Only Ophir dead. Absolutely love this. The entire time, left, right, center, big attacks happening, kills coming through. Now they're trying to go for Uther as well. And again, he lost Redemption already. So it seems like Rutsu is also going to fall, and indeed he does. We still have Junkrat sitting at the top, but he hearths back out in time. Bloodcool was trying to see if he can maybe make a play on him, which wasn't the case. We have now 13 kills to 12. It's a wild one. It's an absolutely wild play, and now we get the Siege Giants and maybe the chance to take the keep out at the top. Probably not. Little bit of damage maybe. Or, well, if they're willing to go for the ult on Arthas, and that's a bit of a different story. They want another kill. They go for Breeze, and it ain't easy being breezy. Seems like we might see a kill here. Nope, Garrosh is able to move away. They kill even Blaze. Oh my god, no. That was a disaster on all fronts now. They don't get the kill on Garrosh. They lose Blaze, and they don't take the keep out. They could have focused on one of those things. They could have, for example, just gone for the keep and tried to retreat after the initial attack didn't immediately result in a kill on Garrosh. But now they are again in trouble. Breeze comes in, and I think Crankle will fall. Crankle is trying his best to stay alive and buy some time for the rest of the team. But this is the end of Arthas, of course. They got a little bit too greedy here. And, it's just tough. 15 kills to 12. 27 kills in total. I still can't believe that they didn't take their keep out at the top. The keep at the bottom got destroyed. The keep at the top lane got destroyed. So only the one in the mid lane is still standing for Team Rip. And they need Arthas back. Now, the good news is this is only the second tribute, so you can give that one up. The bad news is that the bosses are back up in a couple of seconds, and this is likely going to be another double boss play. Very likely. I mean, yeah. Once that boss is taken, you have to defend. It's 20 minutes into the game. It's going to march straight for the core. And that allows your opponent to go towards the top and take this one too. So this is a little bit of a problem. They could push with this. They could go for the double boss play. And by the way, if they go for a double boss play, we will very likely also see their tribute spawn. That would be a curse against the red team. But it seems like they are actually going to try and attack together with this. And see if they cannot go for the core directly. So Boars get already unleashed. Lock him down here. Nice. Here comes Syndragosa again. Trying to lock them down. Ana is gone. Ana is dead. And here comes the attack against Ophir, who's also in trouble. Still able to move out. and even got the kill on Misha, but they need way more than that. And now that Hogga is lost, that's a disaster. Hogga is down, and I think at this point, it's just a matter of time. The boss is already on the core, removing the shield as we speak. 96,000 damage from Junkrat. He's going to enter the 100,000 just a moment. They kill Blaze, and the Bounty Hunters are going to take the lead in the series. The Bounty Hunters will take the lead in this best of 5. They're moving in, and well played, nicely done. Cursed Hollow goes to the blue team as they take a 2-1 lead over Team Rip. GG. Towers of Doom, match point number 1. The Bounty Hunters have taken the lead in the series. This triple melee lineup for Team Rip did not work out the way that they wanted to. So now we actually have to see what's going to happen on the potential final map of this best of 5. Wooby and Breeze have been putting on a clinic in the last game. I mean, Breeze in particular with some insane plays on Garrosh. I still can't believe that when this attack happened at the top lane from Team Rip, Breeze didn't die. And they were just so focused on getting that Garrosh kill, and when it backfired, they lost heroes in the process and didn't even get the keep. I think at that point you could see, okay, this is not going their way at all. Right now we have Lucio banned out, we get Chromie being eliminated again. This is obviously map number 4, which means 30 heroes have been played and cannot be played again. So 30 heroes are now officially out. Well, what are they going to play with here? We had a lot of the side laners played too. I mean, specifically with these multiple triple frontline compositions that we had. This was targeting the side lane position a lot. Medivh gets banned. When it comes down to tanks, I'm really not too worried. There's still Stitches available. You could, of course, also go for an easy Cho'Gall login, which we've now seen multiple times by teams. I mean, Cho'Gall is... How much has Cho'Gall now been played? 10 times in this tournament? Maybe a little bit more than that. Cho'Gall has been played an awful lot. Way more than I expected Cho'Gall to be played. But a lot of teams, even after completing the Cho'Gall bounty, have actually decided that they still want to play the hero. And it gave pretty decent results. So Cho'Gall was played, I think, 7 times right now, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, fair bit. And has a pretty decent win rate too, but, yeah. I mean, either way. Cho'Gall out, just out of the mind first. Stitches is banned now, so they totally agreed with the Stitches priority that probably would appear on Towers of Doom. I expect that no matter who goes up against Team Copium on the next map, we'll have to face off against Stitches eventually, because one of the things that Masquerade is doing a lot is playing Stitches either on Tomb of the Spider Queen or on Towers of Doom. It's a pretty reliable pick for him at this point. But they're going for Breeze with an Uberak. And Uberak a little bit more mixed when it comes to the general results, and now we got the father and son duo. So earlier we established that Malfurion and Tyrande are siblings, even though apparently they married at some point. But now we got Varian and Anduin, so even more family picks. Can I, by the way, just say that some people can't take a joke? Like, the reaction that I got from saying that Malfurion married his sister, there were a couple of people that didn't think that was funny at all. The lore nerds came out in force. And then I made a joke about gay Vikings and people didn't like that either. It's like, it's actually, guys, it's jokes. Not everything that is said on the stream is deadly serious. You've been casting the game for more than 10 years, and believe me, at some point you're just going to shoot the shit a little bit. And people that just get all enraged about this, if you can't handle that, then you're on the wrong stream, I'm sorry to say. So yeah, we got the Backstreet Boy over on the blue team, red team side. But yeah, Anduin and Varian, the fatherly duo. I'm trying to refrain from any jokes that now include Jaina as well in that context, but thankfully she was played. So at this point, I'm just feeling I need to get some lore bait out. So the Vikings get banned again. Why the hell do the Bounty Hunters hate fun? Seriously, what happened? At what point did they wake up in the morning and said, like, you know, we're gonna be German? Seriously, I expect this from a full German team. I don't expect this from a team that calls themselves Bounty Hunters. They're just denying bounty possibilities to other teams, and I'm not on board with it. So Vikings get banned again. Then we have Zul and we have Sylvanas. That's a lot of wave there actually on your side lane already. And Sylvanas, that she's still available and can now be used for structural damage. Yeah. Not bad. So, double pick over on the left side. After we have the Nuburak and Stukov combo and Li Ming as a follow-up. Now, of course, the question more so what Wubi is going to take. Are we now getting that Urel pick? No! Well, maybe. Yes, there's Urel. And we get Kerrigan. Okay, so there's a triple front line and a pretty aggressive one at that. Kerrigan for Rutsu. Haven't seen that in a hot minute. And we got, of course, up at the top lane now Urel for the Whoopster. Blood Cool. Our final pick for the red team. They need a bit more damage. They don't have enough yet. Sylvanas alone is not going to cut it. I don't care if it's a triple melee, but they need something. Cassia's up too, mages are up, and they go for Alarak. They go for Alarak. Towers of Doom, it is match point for the Bounty Hunters, ladies and gentlemen. Here in the Losers Bracket final. Let's go! We have Team Rip against the Bounty Hunters. Bounty Hunters against Team Rip. We have game number 4, match point number 1 for the blue team. And on the left, it is Breeze on Anubarak. We got Whoopi on Urel, Hazops on Stukov, Rutsu on Kerrigan, and Dainu on Li Ming. So now with Rutsu again playing Kerrigan, they did that also when he played Maiev. They have put the old man on the support side, so he's playing the healer. Over on the right side, we got Vasilisco on Anduin. He's gonna throw some light around again with Krankle on Varian. We got Zul played by Sven. Bloodcool with the extended lightning build is playing Alarak, and Azzy on Sylvanas. Are we going to game number 5, or is this going to be the end of the road for Team Rip? Is this where they take 3rd place in the tournament and get eliminated? We'll find out. Varian gets attacked pretty quickly here in the middle. This time we get Lion's Maw, by the way. The last time that we had Taunt Varian, we had a bit of a bait going on, where he went into High King's Quest on level 1 anyways. Breeze goes down! The bug gets crushed, and so does Hazops. Hazops is dead. That's a double kill against the Bounty Hunters. So a great start once more for Team Rip. Is that going to be enough to carry it into the later stages? We'll see. They see Dainu, and he teleported away. Oh, for a moment I thought they had him. Yeah. I mean, they don't have level 10 yet, so there was no taunt involved either way. But if you just get the slow alone, that would already be pretty wild. Now, still slowing the rotation down a bit. On top of that, we have now the attack in the middle continuing. With level 1 abilities, we also have some added stacking going on with the Unfurling Shadows here for Sylvanas, for example. They are still playing around those pumpkins. And here comes Alarak, their combo on Breeze, and Anubarak might be in trouble again, but he's not the only one that is having a tough time. They went deep and they tried to get the kill on Dainu. Li Ming escaped, so did Anubarak, but all of them are a bit low here. So, gotta be very, very careful. Spray game on point. Dainu and Bloodcool in a bit of a standoff that they're involved in here, as level 4 talents are starting to kick in on both sides. And, well, let's see who is able to get that first taunt. Because now we have it. Taunt is in, and we got the negatively charged. And if you tee that up with Varian for Alarak, then there we go. Alright. Oh, nice. Sylvanas. Despite the fact that we had a lurking arm, she's able to escape. They're trying for Breeze again. Can they get the hit here? Oh, well, not quite yet. Alarak is still in that really awkward spot where he has now been played 5 times, 2 wins, 3 losses. So definitely a very, very mixed result for him. But if they now... Both of the teams have essentially, with what they are running, a similar thought process. They're trying to start and engage with the main tank, that is Anubarak on one side and Varian with Taunt on the other, and then follow it up with either Kerrigan or Alarak to really just get these CC chains going and full-on attack and get kills. So there will be a lot of aggression as both of them try to unleash those combos. But at this point, at least, it seems like it's the red team that is just a little bit too powerful here. They're getting one of the altars. They are about to lose 2, though. Blue team, that is. Top right has already been channeled, and the 4 shots have been fired. And now Sylvanas completed the channel at the bottom of the map as well. With them taking a 3rd kill against the bounty hunters, they can also pressure, thanks to Sylvanas, the bottom bell tower. And that's exactly where they're headed with this. So 3 kills to 0, and there's the attack, and the blue team is not doing a whole lot. They will try and defend this eventually, I suppose, but no, they actually let this one go. They don't have level 7, and they just accept that they're gonna lose the bell tower. Yeah, that hurts. That is a shitty early game for them. 10 stacks on Alarak 2, which is nice. And he is done with 2 of the quest rewards on his level 1 talent as well. Hasn't fully completed that yet. But that is a great start for Team Rip. They are trying to force game number 5. I mean, of course, they want to go to the final map. And I keep repeating myself, but don't forget how insanely close the winner bracket match between the 2 teams was. It was absolutely incredible. So they know that they can take down the bounty hunters. That they have a shot here. Even if they are currently a map behind. So they have a chance. But there's also a bit of a trap set up. The taunt immediately. And Blood Cool is fine. So everybody was expecting that there would be an engage. And they just played around it pretty nicely. Trying to take those pumpkins away might be pushing it a bit though. But they are able to pull it off. Yeah. Blue team is not making that engage yet. And that of course is applying more pressure at the bottom of the map. Those pumpkins would go straight for the core if allowed to do so. And that's what they're trying to push. Oh, the gang at the top. Bye-bye. He's gone. Yep.
Bye-bye. And we say bye-bye.
No chance for Sven. He can delay it a little bit, but that is a foregone conclusion. But Kerrigan at the bottom of the map gets taunted. I don't think they have enough damage, do they? Maybe? No. But the shots get fired. So the shots from the pumpkins get fired. Now they have level 10 abilities as well. Yeah. And as is already moving back out, but we have now 24 points on the core against 33. You can really tell that the big difference in experience makes it very, very difficult for the bounty hunters to get anything going here. So they have to just leave whatever the red team wants to them for now. That's more pumpkins claimed. Sadism is something that Alarak still has to build up. Also his level 4 talent, of course, that he has to work on. We have Sylvanas with 20 stacks on level 1. And, yeah, Li Ming still with position in the middle. Whoopi is about to get taunted here. Can they follow up? They're trying with Zul. And can they get the kill? The answer is no, they cannot. Instead, it's Basilisko that gets attacked. Anduin is doing what he's doing best. He's running away as fast as he can, but it might not be fast enough. Anduin goes down. They want Hazorps, and they take him down. Hazorps is gone. Rutsu Kerrigan gets targeted and killed. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Team Rip. That turned... Oh, the Ultralisk is still a charging variant. Yeah, that battle turns. That was a very good engage initially from the bounty hunters after... Well, I suppose initially it was Team Rip that was trying to go for a kill, but the turnaround attempt was a good one. And it nearly turned the fight completely in favor of the bounty hunters, but they were able to get the upper hand then shortly after. So we have now 5 kills to 2 as all of this continues. And, well, by now 15 stacks for Alarak is at 17,000 damage. Li Ming is the top damage dealer in the game with 19,000. And the 5 shots are getting fired again through Sylvanas at that bot lane. Nobody contests this. Instead, they go for Li Ming. And Dainu is dead. More kills being picked up by Team Rip. And more pressure against the bounty hunters. Now they're down to 19 points on the core. Yeah, and the pumpkins that are coming through could theoretically even make it and connect. Now, it seems like the red team has actually a bit of a problem defending at the top. So their opponent decided that they want to push this very aggressively and trying to get the bell tower at the top lane instead of retaking theirs at the bottom of the map. Generally speaking, nothing wrong with it. The only problem that you have is there's more pumpkin camps at the bottom. Shots are already being fired again. And Dino is also in some trouble. He dodged out on everything that could have killed him here, mind control included, but with him at 50% HP, they gotta be careful. So yeah, there's the next taunt. The follow-up just wasn't there. Soon we're gonna have the Bounty Hunters with level 13 talents, and they're on the same talent tier as the opponent's team. So that's gonna be the positive news. And they are trying to go for the boss. So they're making a boss play at the top lane now. Nobody is interfering with that, so that's 4 shots fired. That will put the red team down to 29 points on the core. And of course removing that as one of the tools on the map is also pretty nice. That's gonna be pretty sweet. But as it stands right now, we're talking about a single altar spawn on the map. And this is going to happen now all centered around the bot lane. Breeze already slowly coming in and dodges out on mind control. Barely, but he doesn't get affected by it. So Sven is trying the channel. The interrupt missing for now. Dino still able to pull that off. Cocoon used as well as they're trying to burn that down. Alarak, nice play with his ult, dodging out on the stun from Karrigan, who's dropping low, but is able to escape still. They're turning the fight once again. The skeletal mages are in, so is the Ultralisk, as they're switching the targeting over to Whoopi. Breeze gets caught in just the last moment here, but the blue team is all able to walk away from it and jumps out. So the shots are being fired again. 4 shots against the blue team's core, putting it down to 13. So they're getting closer and closer to single digits. But the bounty hunters are fighting tooth and nail whenever they can here. Alarak has now 23,000 damage. He has racked up the sadism a little bit. And has also gotten more stacks on his level 4. Talking about him. Slowly making his way into the fight. Mind control missing again. It just doesn't connect for them. They go for Anduin. And for Varian, but yeah, Daddy gets protected. Daddy Varian gets protected, and while the blue team is trying to get the bot lane recovered at the top, Zul is doing the same. Proxing the waves a bit, applying more pressure to the bell tower. And here comes the move again for Bloodpool. Nice attack! Alarak is dead, but so is Karrigan. Sadism is lost though, but they're taking Anubrak down too. All eyes on Anduin again, but they're coming in, and Zul once more with the prison, and Dino is... oh my god! No! He died! Oh, he died to the skeletal mages. That was something. Look at this escape. He tries to get away, has basically no hit points. Then the ult comes out and they drop him. So Dino is gone. He gets killed. Zul now has all the space and time that he needs to go for the aggression at the top and take the bell tower back. And that's now 5 shots fired with every single altar that they can channel. And Li Ming will still be missing for a bit longer. So, yeah, the channel at the top right is happening. They're going to be down to 3 points on the core. This is a nightmare for them. Sylvanas is also channeling. That's a barrage fired against them. Bam! 16 talents are also ready. They're trying to hold on to that bot lane bell tower a bit longer. 1 pumpkin camp is all that they need here. It's all that they need now. Or a boss, of course. Boss spawns in, what, a minute? Yeah, 2. Minute and 40 seconds. We have still some pumpkins here. Yep, they're checking. You see already that they're coming, so it's all about vision right now. And they are attempting to just pin them down. 3 points on the core to 26. It is Towers of Doom. Biggest comeback map in the pool. Every game here is a crazy one. But here comes the Mind Control Connect finally. Karrigan wants the combo. Skeletal Mages are out. Sylvanas just rushing away here as the fight breaks out and keeps continuing. But they are burning the Ultralisk down. The pumpkins are also about to be destroyed. This is obviously the big threat now to the core. Alarak. It's Anduin. Always Anduin. This insane trait of that character. It's absolutely crazy. Boss is up in 50 seconds. And they are starting to push for the top. At the bottom of the map, they retook the bell tower. Of course, one of the things with the altars that are now coming up is that the blue team needs to be very careful that the boss is not being taken. They need to remove that as one of the potential tools from the map. So they have to attack it and they have to claim it, or it's going to be pretty rough. 27 stacks for Alarak on his level 4. We have him on 37,000 damage, which puts him into the #1 slot as a damage dealer in this game. Li Ming with 33,000 comes in second place. Yep, and there's 2 altars now up, and both of them have to be defended by the bounty hunters. They have to defend both. Wubi, he's going to be the one guarding the bottom of the map. Hazu channels the top, gets it, so everything is going to center around the bot lane. The red team decided that they don't want to split their attention, they just want to go for the team fight and want to take it there. So already, everybody is trying to push into a good spot so that they can engage. Whoopi gets interrupted. Varian looking for a target. Rutsu the same. Rutsu is hiding in the shadows here. And try to follow as they started to slowly move in. Another interrupt on Whoopi. Nice. And he keeps channeling. They got the taunt already out. Slowly starting to make their way into this. Position is taken by the blue team. This is the moment. Right here. This is the opportunity to see if they can make a play. We got Rutsu again interrupted. They have to fight for this one. They cannot let this one go. The blue team needs it. They definitely need it. You cannot let this one go. You lose the game and you are going to a 5th map, which they want to avoid at all costs. Bloodcool is moving around here. 9 kills to 3 in total. Big points for the red team. Varian again looking for an opportunity. Some combos unleashed by Alarak as they go again for Breeze. But he's fine. He's down to 50% of his HP though. Problem for Nubarak. Ultralisk is out again. In comes Alarak. They try to go for Kerrigan. She's also dropping a little bit low. Need to be very careful here as we have the skeletal mages do lots of work. But nobody really has it just yet. But the blue team is dropping low and will have to retreat eventually here. So they're tapping the fountain before they're re-engaging into the fight. Lots of damage on Dainu. Big shove. Stukov gets interrupted though, and Varian is already back to business. He has taunt, uses it, and Kerrigan. Kerrigan with the Chrysalis, but she dies. Rutsu is down. Kerrigan is gone. They're making a move for Stukov as well. He's still surviving here, but now it's Dainu who becomes the target, and he gets obliterated. The double kill against Alarak and Sylvanas though. They're fighting back. The bounty hunters are not out of this yet. Breeze is low, and Breeze is gone. There's 3 versus 2 in this situation as they start to target Whoopi. Again, the play by Zul, and they take the Space Goat out. We're going to game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. 13 kills, 2-8. The shots are fired. 5-man team wipe as Hazu falls. And this is victory. And we are going to the final map of the series. GG. Game number 5. Once again, we're going the distance, everybody. This series deserves nothing else. We're going straight into the final match of this loser bracket final. The winner moves on to face off against Team Copium, and the loser drops out of the tournament and officially takes 3rd place in the tournament. So, with now this being the 5th map, it means that 40 heroes have been banned. The tournament concept, the whole idea of those draft restrictions in full swing, as we're going to find out what the players are now trying to draft here. 40 heroes unavailable as we enter the draft, which of course means that now we have 6 more that are going to get banned out. And that eliminates roughly half of the hero pool as we're getting into this. So we get a ban on Chromie and a ban on Lucio. With supports being a little bit more limited, Lucio is obviously just way stronger than anything else that he could draft here, so they have to be a bit careful on this. But we still got a lot available that they can easily pick here. Who knows, maybe we're going to get Morales, but there's also Whitemane, there's Alexstrasza, you got plenty to go around. Stitches is up. Keep Stitches in mind, because Medivh has now been banned out, but Stitches has been eliminated as a potential pick on Towers of Doom. And there is still a chance that Stitches gets taken very early if he doesn't get banned. Infernal Shrines is a map where we have seen it in the past. And he actually gets banned out. Now, the next problem, obviously, with this was also that Falstad is, if I'm not mistaken, still up. And with Falstad being available, if you get Stitches plus Falstad, then you can get really good isolation plays. We got Bloodcool on Gul'dan now. And what is the blue team going to do in order to make the move here? Because right now, yeah, what are you starting things up with? Obviously, with the mage taken very early, Team Rip really feels, hey, we need to make a big play here and get big AoE on the shrine. And on the other side, yes, we get Mal'Ganis for the front. And we got Tychus as well by Hazuops. So, not too bad. That's actually pretty nice, because they have the Odin transformation right now with Tychus, which is perfect for Infernal Shrines. And Mal'Ganis is also a really tricky one to take down. So, that's a pretty big one too. On the right side for the red team, we get Leo. Still solid wave clear, good side laner, and we get Cassia. So when it comes to the damage department, I really like what we're seeing from Team Rip now. We get Cassia, which is still a super strong damage dealer, of course. And then on top of that, you have also Gul'dan locked in here, which is another pretty important one, just to get that Horrify through, to get the AoE on the shrine. So they're gonna do a ton with that. Whereas over on the left, there's the big question, what exactly are we now getting for the side lane, for example. And we haven't really seen anybody battle for supports yet either. I like that Mei gets banned, by the way. So they're looking at this and they're thinking, hey, what are we doing in regards to tanks with the opponent? They ban out Stitches. There's no tank taken early by Team Ripple, so they ban out Mei, which I don't even remember. What does that leave us with? They could go for Chen at the front line. They could go for, I mean, the triple front line isn't possible anymore. But Chen main tank, I'm just saying, that is sometimes even a thing. So a Chen main tank is a bit of a possibility here, as Falstad gets banned out. But Imperius, was Imperius played? I'm not sure if Imperius was played in this series in particular, not necessarily. So it's gonna get a bit tricky though. You can only get one main tank. You need a healer still on their side. Even Cho'Gall as a pick doesn't work anymore. So even Cho'Gall doesn't work any longer. Instead, we have on the left Malthael, and we get Deckard Cain. And now it's just a question of what Dino's going to pick, but I'm more curious what the main tank is. There has to be something that slips my mind right now. There's obviously a lot of really good bans that already have happened, but I think your worst case scenario would be someone like Chen, who still has sustainability, but you need to play a completely different style if you want to use him in a main tank position. So there's the next problem. But what else are they going to go for? What's still there? What am I missing? What's still playable? It's Chen. They go for Chen. They really go for Chen. They have Auriel and it's Chen together with that. They now have to channel their inner Capybara. I'm always highlighting him. I'm always mentioning him. But they have the opportunity here. So they can try and just play some really nice isolation games with Chen, push people away, and try to create some space. So we got Dino as our final pick for map number 5. It's a glorious losers bracket final. Honestly, the series was absolutely hyped. And we are going to the final map and we get Mephisto. Ladies and gentlemen, Infernal Shrines, map number 5 between Team Rip and the Bounty Hunters. Game number 5. We're going the full distance here. On the left, ladies and gentlemen, we got Hazuops on Deckard Cain. We get Dino and Tychus. Wooby on Malthael. We got Rutsu on Mephisto. And Breeze on Mal'Ganis. On the right side of the map, Team Rip. Coming in strong, coming in swinging with the victory on Towers of Doom. We got Krankle on Leoric, Vasilisco on Auriel, Bloodkul on Gul'dan. And the main tank is apparently Leo, since Sven is moving in on Chen. And we get Azzy on Cassia. It's party time. Who is able to win the final map and move on to face off against Team Copium? We get Masquerade fresh out of retirement, together with Banana and potentially his Ana. So off we go. The first little brawl in the middle already happening as Krankle is going for the drain up at the front. They're going to trade him a lot. If you're playing Leo in a position like this, what's going to happen for sure is that you are going to trade him quite a bit. You're going to be looking at situations where you are drawing a lot of aggro from the opponent, where you're just coming in, you're making sure that you are getting a lot of abilities pushed on you. And then if you die, you will respawn quicker, but your team obviously has to make that death count when it happens. If they then can start and just go for trades, this is kind of the idea here and the play. So, as it stands right now, we got, the first little attack coming. right there. Once again, the aggression down at the bottom of the map. And they're starting to do their thing also here in the middle with Wooby again pressuring against Crankle and trying to make a move here too. But for now, there was some structural damage done at the bottom wall that was already pretty solid. So, not too bad. We got, at this point, topside, Malthael just dealing with the lane that he got pushed out. And the attack coming straight up through the middle again, as it seems like the red team is hoping to invade the camp. But instead, they get put to sleep quickly. Bloodcool is in trouble, goes for the drain against Mal'Ganis, and they get out. Nice. They are able to retreat here. So, nicely done. Job well played. And obviously, oh, there's the follow-up. There's the follow-up, and that's the first kill of the game. It's the Bounty Hunters that are able to lock that in. Nicely done. On level 4, we now got Spite, and we have the Potion of Shielding. Still pressuring this a bit more on the right side. We got the Paralyzing Rage, for example, now. We're also looking at the Echo Corruption build that is currently getting pushed through here and doing... get some decent stacks together. We'll see how quickly he's able to get to the 40, if he's able to sync that up with his Ruinous Affliction on level 16, how that's going to play out for them. But down at the bottom of the map, first of all, Leorki goes down again. As I said before, this is going to happen a bit. Crankle in a main tank, Leoric, you have to play a different style here. You are going to fall a few times. The question is always, can your team capitalize on it with counterplays? But right now it's 2 kills to 0. That gives a small lead over to the Bounty Hunters. And of course, it's the first objective that is now coming up too. So they can start making a play around that as well. Rutsu starting to move back out. We're having all the way up at the top Chen. War Master, the white and black skin. Sven knows how to ride in style in the battle. This is definitely the right combo. But with that said and done, by now we are looking into the first objective once again, and it seems like the red team has taken the position early. Already off to 16 stacks, 18, making it 20. Yeah, Crankle is a bit low here, needs healing. We have the blue team starting to take over. They're going into the shrine now, trying to take control, and are going for Leoric again, which allows also Tychus and Mephisto to take full control of the stacks. But a lot of outside poke is going on. The problem is that Cassia's in trouble, and she gets murdered. Cassia is down, Crankle is also low, connects the drain, starts to move out, and survives. Makes it out of the fight, good for him. But they might lose out on that objective though. They're trying to go for Whoopi. Fat Illidan jumps in and gets the kill. Malthael is gone. And Tychus got the heal just before he died. Oh, there was single-digit hit points on him with that drain from Leoric. But not able to get that kill. Job well done. Well played. Nicely done. But now we got the Punisher in the middle, and they can of course use that to try and take that wall down. At a minimum. Maybe even a bit more. Yeah, they baited over the wall, maybe a bit late, but still there's going to be damage done no matter what. And the wall is now falling. With Chen at the top and Cassie at the bottom, they never really meant to go here with a full 5-man. We see that split obviously happening a ton. But that's still some damage in the middle. Yeah, they're getting damage in on that fort. They took the wall out. Chen is manhandling the top side a bit and is starting to take that one on. Whereas down at the bottom of the map, they already blew through that wall earlier. So, yeah, good for them. 3 kills to 1. And with the first objective played by Team Rip, they did a solid job there as well. So, yeah, well played. Once again, the invade is coming. Breeze is, or was on the move here. But they already saw the camp taken, so yeah, they just fell back to fight another day. Still a slight lead in experience, of course, for Team Rip that they can translate into a level 10 advantage. Don't think they can force a fight around it. That's a little bit too small of a lead. But down at the bottom of the map, they're going to start making their play here for the next camp. They're going to try and take the neutral one. And maybe with level 10, they could go for an early push. We got Wandering Keg, we got the Valkyrie, Aegis, and yeah, well, window is too small. You can't even push for the fort here, not even for a little bit of damage. Lulnado by Deckard Cain. Last Rites, Durance of Hate. And I suppose, what are we going to get for from Alganis up at the front. Is he going to go for the swap? Or what is Breeze going to prioritize here? And, well, we get the Dark Conversion. So, goes for the health swap. As Gul'dan is still firing away, trying to get the Echo Corruption together. He gets used! Durance of Fate completely cancelled from this one. Nice. No connect on it. Just a cooldown trade that we get between the heroes. Not quite. I mean, again, it's a little bit of a cooldown win, I suppose, for Mephisto, but the difference is so small that it doesn't... Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much. What we get instead is more and more small little plays and pokes by Team Rip, who are, of course, hoping to finally defeat the Bounty Hunters here. It went to the 5th map again. These two teams are evenly matched. We went to map number 5 in the winner bracket as the two of them collided. And now we're here again. So, can they do it? Yes, no? We'll see. Now, we got already the attack for the next camp. Chen kegging out. Yeah, you don't always have to use the keg to just, I don't know, get an isolation kill. You can also, if you're playing it in this particular situation, just push the opponent back a bit, create some space for some of your damage dealers, disengage. As a disengage tool, it's also pretty fantastic. But the next objective is now coming back up. They're already jumping towards the top to try and go for Malthael. And, well, there's the Entomb. They're trapping him in the corner. Can they get the kill? They're trying, and he's gone. The counter kill attempt with last rites against Crankle. That did not work out. So, very solid effort at the top lane. The Entomb, absolutely perfect. You don't have to catch the hero every single time. It's totally okay if you just deny them the pathway that they are trying to use to escape. So this worked quite nicely for Team Rip. They, of course, had to heal some of the heroes first, so maybe they lost a bit of time before they can engage into the shrine, and Malthael will be back soon. That's the initial lead here. Chen with lots of damage at the top at least, and with a level 13 advantage, there's another little beneficial play or tool for Team Rip to use in that battle. Odin already gets used. Red team caught up. They go for the old man. Horrify gets used as well. The Lulnado to the rescue. Illidan was trying to jump in. Fat Illidan, Chen. But was a bit too far out. They have the position completely under lock and key now. They can take the lead here. Nice little play by Chen, trying to push Tychus back out. And he's back to business with the rest of the team. Durance of Fate against Missing! Swinging for the fences, and that's a kill. Last Rites is going to take down Leoric, but they got the Punisher in the meantime. So while the kills are being traded, they are able to get the objective. And as I said before, if you can go for a kill trade the way that Leoric just did, then that's a win for you. It's an absolute win. Because in that situation, what basically saw is Leo now coming back already. And Mephisto, yeah, he's coming back at the same time, but he has travel time too, so that is a bit of a concern. First fort is down, next fort is being attacked here, and we'll see if they can also get the third one up at the top. The damage output so far in the game, we got 18,000 from Gul'dan. We got 25,000 from Tychus. He's the top damage dealer, and you can see that Malthael, for example, is with the 24,000 he's holding. Also looking extremely powerful here. Next little jump is coming at the top, but the Bounty Hunters have lost a lot of ground now all of a sudden. They are ahead in kills, but they have lost a lot. That's all the forts gone, which means no fountains left anymore in the middle. I like what we're seeing from Malthael here, by the way, trying to steal this away. The problem is they also lost the one on the left side. Chen just came in and just stole it. They did all the work and then that happened. And now they're trying to isolate Whoopi again. And that might actually be a kill. Whoopi! Oh, no! I expected Crankle to try and follow up on that and go for it, but he didn't. Now we have the Valkyrie used too. That one got shut down. A huge fight again with Aegis being used as we get the Lulnado. And both teams retreat here. I think the blue team was insanely close to lose a few of their heroes in that encounter. Level 16 is also now kicking in any second for Team Rip. And they are trying to use that talent advantage for some pressure plays at the bottom of the map. So they're coming in here with a level 16 talent advantage, looking for opportunities. The keg is back up in 6 seconds, so they could use that for potential isolation on one of the heroes. But they want some damage, and they get the move with the Entomb. Nice. Can they get a kill, though? Keg is being done. They try to go for Rutsu and Mephisto, but they isolate Dino instead and go for him. Dino is gone. Whoopi is now saying hello, but that is one of your main damage dealers gone, and the next minion wave is on the way. This is Team Rip applying pressure. More and more pressure in this game right now. They want to go to the grand final. They do not want to lose to the bounty hunters again. They want to take them out here, and they're taking that keep apart. The keep is gone. What a fantastic siege move at the bot lane. And then the kill against Dino's Tigers was all that they needed here. 28,000 damage from Gul'dan. And now the big opportunity here to maybe, just maybe, make it to the grand final. Never count out the bounty hunters though. They're gonna fight tooth and nail to bring this back, and they do now have level 16 talents as well. So even talents again, one level behind, but an absolutely just stellar play from Team Rip. They have a talent advantage, they siege up, they see a kill opportunity, they create it, get the kill, and get the keep. Camp at the top could be taken now. Mephisto with Animosity. Mephisto going for Animosity on level 16 at this point. And now the Shrine is active. The camp was not stolen. Shrine is activating. We had one single kill, by the way, with last rites thus far, which means a 5-second cooldown reduction. And, well, off we go. Here comes the move. Again, for Rutsu. Comes out. Mephisto is moving away. Up on the point. Whoopi getting attacked, having to move out as well. It is the red team firing out of all angles. Odin gets used, the lead on Shrine minions. But now they have to deal with Odin. And that's not going to be easy. Immediately, Chen, look at him. Just creating space. Trying to waste some of the time on Odin. And keep them off the Shrine for now. Delay them a little bit. And things are working for them. They have a fountain. They can tap it. That's something that the Bounty Hunters do not have. Bounty Hunters do not have fountains anymore in the middle. So now the re-engage happening after the big tap as they're starting to move back in again. 4 kills to 4. Valkyrie hit. It's hard. And that's a Horrify follow-up. Leo traded for Deckard Cain. They go for Breeze. It ain't easy being Breezy. And he goes down. Breeze goes down. And this is a nightmare for the Bounty Hunters. They, oh god, in the winner bracket, it was a 2-0 lead for Team Rip. And then the Bounty Hunters won 3 in a row. Sent Team Rip into the losers bracket and moved on. But now that we are in the rematch on map 5, it could all turn around again. Fat Illidan is making his move. Krankle is slowly coming in here as well. Sven is unimpressed. They jump back in. They try and go for Whoopi and push him in. That didn't work out. But Krankle is going to come back soon. And they're still chasing them a little bit. Even Gul'dan is now moving down to the bottom of the map. But Dino is already on his cloud and is moving away here. They're also buying time. They are on 39 stacks now, and they can get to level 20 before they're pushing. They're trying to, at a minimum, take another keep out by pushing with level 20 advantage and the objective for the top keep. But of course, the dream would be to end the game right here. If they overextend, on the other hand, they might be in some trouble. 31 stacks on level 1 for Gul'dan now. Level 20 is ready. The Arcane Punisher pushing at the top. Team Rip, they want it. They want the victory. They got buried alive, and if they hit a good one, this could be the deciding factor. They got Horrify as well. The Haunt has been upgraded. The Keep is about to go down. The Punisher wreaking havoc. Keep about to be gone. Leo looking for the opportunity. Looking for the Entomb. Patient play from Krankle, and he misses it. He misses the Entomb, but they go for Rutsu, and he gets barely out of the fight. Horrify hasn't been used yet. They still have Horrify as a tool. Last rites used, and it didn't do enough. Did not do enough here. They want to siege up on this. Their core is taking a little bit of damage, but I do not think it's going to be enough for them. They might have to retreat here. 94% on the core, and the team is slowly falling back. Gul'dan the entire time, waiting for a decent Horrify opportunity, and didn't find it so far. They're pushing Rutsu around a little bit as the team moves into the middle. 2 keeps now gone, but the Bounty Hunters are defending well. They are holding on. They're sitting here waiting to fight another day. They know that if they can just buy a little bit of time to get level 20 as well, they might still have a chance to get back into this game. Push in the middle, trying to go for the wall. They're starting to take it down. 6 kills to 5. Once again, the Entomb. Maybe this time they go for Breeze. He goes for the HP swap, and Krankle dies. Breeze survives as they go for the HP swap, and Hazuops, the old man, gets eliminated. Dino gets attacked next. He wants the kill. He doesn't get it. And that might just be it. No, Oriel falls. They get a last right kill on Oriel. Whoopi saving the day for them, but shortly after, he gets attacked and murdered. It's a 3-2 right now as they're sieging up in the middle of the map again. But Malthael bought back. He's back to business and is showing up once more. Insane 5th game. What a series. This losers bracket final has been an absolute blast, but the Bounty Hunters, despite all of the defensive plays that they just made, they still lose that final keep. They have only the core standing, and just as a comparison, Team Rip has every single fort still in play. Every single one of them. There's going to be catapults all game long now pushing against the Bounty Hunters. The blue team, they need a big team fight victory. They need a huge team fight. They need to force something and go for it. Breeze, by the way, him surviving the last fight with his ult being dropped there was crazy. He essentially killed Leo and saved himself in that move. So, yeah, absolutely nuts. Absolutely bonkers. 3 stacks away from hitting the quest for Gul'dan. Damage output, 56,000 for Cassia, 64,000 for Mephisto. Tyke is at 54k, and then of course on top of that you also have still Malthael, who brings in 48,000, which is essentially the same damage output that we're getting from Gul'dan here, which is just massively impressive. And right now, it's about the Shrine activating. The blue team will have to fight for it, but yeah, Leo can push out the top lane a little bit. Catapults making it towards the core. Camp making it towards the core. It is Team Rip's game to lose at this point. They need to just play this safe, and they're going to be in a fantastic spot. And they know it too. They know it. Of course they know it. Here comes the play for potentially the last Punisher in this game. The big opportunity. Cassia is already attacking. Cassia is attacking. They're trying to stop them from defending. They're just trying to slow them down, stop them from defending. Dino is the one that halves back. He's not interrupted. He's coming back. The core could be falling here. Cassia has moved back out. They lost Leo, and Whoopi survived. The core is now at 83%, loses a few more. Leoric will of course be back at some point, but for now they're down to 4 players. In comes Chen, again, trying to create a little bit of space for them. Team Rip is trying to be cute. Are they maybe a little bit too cute with the plays? 20% missing on the core of the Bounty Hunters, but they have access to the Punisher now. 33 stacks against 12. Leo is not back yet. Here comes the Horrify. Bloodcool gets out, retreats. Basilisco also escaping, and Chen wants the objective. He can't get it just yet. The core is losing hit points again. Malthael is down. The core is about to lose hit points again as the catapults are moving in. 2 more stacks and the blue team loses the Punisher. And there it is. The Frozen Punisher is taken. Frozen Punisher is claimed. Dino tries to kill Oriel. Can't get deep enough. Breeze is hoping to follow up and help him out here. But they can't. They're going full Gul'dan. Bloodcool goes down, but Dino dies as well. Dino dies too. Catapults marching on the core. Mephisto is gone. It's an absolute insane fight here as they're going for it. Last right. And as he survives, they go for Breeze and take him down. Whoopi falls. It's a 5-man team wipe. 15 kills to 9 as we have the Bounty Hunters on the ropes. The catapults are pushing in. This is game. Team Rip takes the victory. They get revenge. They get revenge for the winner bracket and move on to the grand final to face off against Team Copium as the Bounty Hunters take 3rd place in the tournament. GG, well played, and what a series.